How y'all doing? I'm Chris. You are watching Nature Here and Now. So, check this out. I decided to go camping over the weekend following 4th of July and work on some of my videos. Well, turns out that a forest fire had a bit of an impact on some of those plans. Check it out. Okay, so I decided to go camping on the hottest weekend of the year so far, just after 4th of July. All my plans are out the window. There's supposed to be a bunch of thunderstorms and stuff. They're all canceled.
Nope.
And it turns out the second most important objective I had for this trip is completely off limits because there is a big forest fire. Okay, it is really hot right now. It's 97 degrees out. Yeah, heat index of 106. But I'm heading towards Wildlife Refuge. Turns out I'm closer to the forest fire than I thought. There are ashes falling from the sky. Everything turned reddish orange. Smells like smoke. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of activity aside from a couple people fishing and some blue-tailed forest hawks and dragonflies darting back and forth the shores of the lake. As you may have gathered, I had decided to drive to a wildlife sanctuary / preserve to, follow up on some of my videos. And that's where things started to take a turn. Okay, everything is reddish. Driving through parts of Wharton turned out to be a bit of a surreal experience. In one or two areas, the smoke was drifting across the road like a blue fog. But as I continued forward, things started to take on a bit of an apocalyptic atmosphere. Now, vehicles were going back and forth about their usual behavior, though be it with their headlights on. And keep in mind, this was high noon. Naturally, I was hesitant to be in the area, but word was the area was completely safe, and the nearby town was even going about its normal festivities and even a couple of yard sales. However, that is where the checkpoint was and one of the operation posts for the forest fire. Once I pulled over by Chatsworth Lake, everything in the area was almost bathed in a tobacco or sepia tone. Yet the horizon around the lake was almost a monochromatic. The dominant colors were, of course, muted greens, that beautiful red that you find in Pine Barrens waters, and this very prominent yellowish orange because of all the smoke in the atmosphere. Looking out across the lake, the water was as still as a mirror. It resembled something much more like what you would find after midnight rather than what you would find at midday. Even in a distance of miles, the ashes were gently falling from the sky like the first flurries of winter. Spiderwebs were collecting the ashes as they fell. Even though the Pine Barrens are highly adapted to forest fires and the soils and waters have high acidity content, at this point the pH balance in the environment must be a bit of a tug of war. Now let me tell you, I have plenty of friends that live within the Pine Barrens, and forest fires are a clear and present danger to them, and it is seriously taken as no joke. Now at one point last year or the year before, there was a particularly close forest fire that they could stand on their street and literally see the flames down the street. The embers and ashes falling from that sky were massive sheets of smoldering fire. There was smoke trailing behind some of these ashes. You could definitely see the sense of fear and insecurity in their eyes as they recollected the stories from just 2 years ago. And it's got to be pretty unnerving. Like I said, it's no joke whatsoever. As I sat there filming and taking in the events, there was constantly back and forth fire trucks and forest fire service. So it turns out that the forest fire was started by some people shooting off some fireworks in the Pine Barrens, not far from the Batona campground. Fireworks in the summer in the Pine Barrens, a fire-prone habitat. You can't make this stuff up. Sad thing is, last year in that same area, when I was filming my Nighthawk video, let me tell you, not an easy video, I had to keep stopping my video because people were shooting off fireworks. The Pine Barrens. Fire. Fireworks flying through the sky. In the Pine Barrens. Not far from the Carranza Memorial. You gotta be kidding. So this wildfire, the Time Hill Wildfire as it is known, has consumed at least 4,000 acres that I know of. Acres that are in some of my videos. I mean, picture this giant column of ash and char soaring high up into the atmosphere and blotting out the sun. Like I said, forest fires are definitely a surreal and terrifying experience. Fire crews worked restlessly 4 days in a high humidity heat wave, temperatures pushing 95 to 98 degrees Fahrenheit, a heat index of over 107 degrees, in order to extinguish these fires, protect the environment, and any homes and humans in danger. As I said, thousands of acres were destroyed. From what I know, the multi-day effort was a great success, but it could have been much, much worse. These men and women of the Forest Fire Service, the officers, and all those involved risked their lives by charging head-on into the fires of hell in order to tackle these fires and save the lives of not only human beings, but all the animals and wildlife that call the environment their home. Needless to say, we owe them the highest respect, and my sincere gratitude go out to everybody that put their lives on the line to protect and save the lives of human beings. Anyhow, enough of that for now. You see, I continued on my journey into the Penn State Forest in order to film and explore, but that wasn't quite as easy as I thought it would be. I couldn't just park and explore because those thunderclouds started to rear their heads again. To make a long story short, I decided to head on over to one of my other favorite locations that I like to call Stay a While because it's that nice, and I wanted to see what the weather had to say. Once again, the rain changed its mind and the blazing sun had a clear, smokeless view of the habitat I wandered. It was hot. So, when I find myself in such circumstances, away from people and the roar of society, I decide to cool off and enjoy the solitude. I spent the next 2 hours just swimming in the water and laying on the bank. There were no people anywhere. There was nothing but the chorus of dozens of birds, a gentle breeze, the cooling waters, and an endless sky above. Let me tell you, it's definitely the right way to wrap up the day and enjoy the oncoming sunset. Oh my God. I'm a lucky person. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to share the surreal experience of a forest fire, even though it's at a distance, and it's got to be terrifying for those people that live closer to these environments and the animals that have nowhere to run. Once again, thank you so much to all the police officers, the forest fire fighters, and just everybody that puts their lives in the line of duty to help the citizens of the world and protect those in times of need. Mad respect goes out to you. Thanks a lot for watching my video. I'm Chris Egnoto. I'll see you in another video sometime soon.